UFC Fight Night Song versus Cejudo. It's happening in a couple days from now. As to the timing of this recording, it is currently February 19th, and it's going to be happening 3 days from now on the 22nd of Saturday. So I figured I'd just give my fight predictions all the way from the prelim card to the main card. And without further ado, let's get started. So first fight in the card, Modestas Bakis versus Rafael Sequeiro. I know I said that wrong. Anyways, I'm actually pretty confident picking Rafael, and if I remember correctly, I actually watched previous fights for Modestas before, or Modestas, and I'm not really like that crazy about his fighting style. If I remember correctly, I don't even think he's got that much of an impressive record. Like, he does have 16 wins, 6 losses, and Rafael only has the 11 wins and 1 loss. But they're both like kind of old. They're not really young bucks. Modestas is 31. Rafael is 33, and even though that is a bit old, you gotta remember at light heavyweight you can afford to be old. So I'm gonna pick with Rafael, and I'm gonna go by fuck it, I'm gonna go by a knockout. Next fight on the card, and middleweight, Nursultan Ruzibiev, probably one of those Dagestani guys, versus Eric Makonik. This guy is such an unknown. He doesn't even have a fighter picture. It doesn't even say his height. Damn, that's how you know you're really not in the known. I'm just gonna go with Nursultan because I don't really know either of these people, and there's not really much for me to talk about because I don't know. But I'm just gonna go with Nursultan by decision. Next fight at catch weight, and I do not know what weight this is. It's gonna be Nikolai Veteritankov versus Austin Vanderford. I'm gonna go with Vanderford. I don't even know what weight this is. I'll be honest, I never heard of these two people before. These are bums, a bunch of nobodies. So I'm just going to go by Austin Vanderford by decision. Next fight, Mansur Abdul Malik versus Nick Klein. I'm going to go with Mansur. Mansur is undefeated at 7 wins, 0 losses. Nick Klein has 6 wins and 1 loss, so they pretty much have like the same record. It's just that, Nick has an extra loss while Mansur is undefeated. And I'll be honest, I don't know either of these two people. But I'm just going to go with Mansur because he's undefeated at middleweight. And, undefeated does count for something. But then you remember, like, in the year of our Lord in 2025, a bunch of people have been getting fraud checked. You guys see that? Like, 2025 has been, like, the year of the fraud check. So, I don't know. I'm just going to go with Mansur. Probably going to be wrong, though, for going off of history based off of 2025 so far. Like, it's barely February when we had, like, 10 undefeated people lose. Something like that. Anyways, this is a fight I actually know is we get to see that boy Andre Fili versus fighting Makalzeev Costa. I'm going to go with Andre Fili. Fili is a bit of an old head at featherweight at 34 years old. And he's been around the block. He's had like a decent amount of fights. But, it's always nice to see Fili fight. And he is a bit of a ret. He just has some techniques and tricks he can do. Like, he might be slower. He might be less athletic than the other guy. The other guy is only 28. But, usually when these people, they have a bunch of experience and they have that skill set where they can surprise you. And you never know. They could just hit you with like a good right hand up the middle. You never know. So I'm just going to go with Andre Fili. And you know what? I'm going to pick something crazy. I'm going to go with Andre Fili by round 2 submission. Even though I know that doesn't make any sense. Final fight of the prelims is Ion Cutelaba versus Ibao Asian. I'm going to go with Ibao. The reason why I say it is because Cutelaba just keeps losing fights, man. I swear, I feel like at one point in the UFC, there was a point where Cutelaba was fighting like every other month, and he just kept losing, and maybe once in a while he would win a fight. But I feel like Cutelaba is just like a running joke now, and I can't see him doing anything special, especially when you compare his record to Ibao's right now. Ibao has 14 wins, 1 loss. Cutelaba has 18 wins, 10 losses, 1 draw, 1 no contest. That's a lot of losses. So I'm going to go with Ibao by a decision. Moving up to the main card, and this is where it starts to get really good, and you definitely are not going to want to miss this main card if you're a fan like me. Starting off, we got Alonzo Minifield. He's all right light heavyweight versus Julius Walker. I don't actually have any information on Julius Walker. It doesn't even show a profile picture. He's 25 years old, doesn't even say his height. All this is his weight division, but he is undefeated at 6 wins with 0 losses. But when you have so little wins, and I don't really know what kind of person you are, then I'm confident picking Alonzo Minifield and winning this fight. And I'm not going to go by knockout or decision or anything like that. Not bad. I'm actually going to go with a decision. Decision by Alonzo Minifield. Next fight, and this is the one fight I'm really excited for, is Gene Silva versus Malaksa Bakhtansaryan. I don't know. I'm just excited to watch Gene Silva fight, man. This guy has been on a tear lately. He's out of the fighting nerds. The whole fighting nerds crew has been, crazy lately. They've been producing some crazy guys, man. You got Gene Silva, you got Kyle Barajo, you got Carlos Prates. These guys are like they're so skilled. They're knocking people out, especially Prates. Prates got some insane KO power. That guy might be the hardest hitter at 170 right now. And I'm just really excited for this fight. And I'm pretty confident picking Gene Silva by knockout. If not, it's going to be a very bloody decision because this guy is an animal, and I love watching him fight. And I can't wait to see him fight in a couple days. All right, next fight is the catchweight fight, Rob Font versus Juan Matsumoto. I'm actually going to pick Juan Matsumoto, or Gene Matsumoto. My bad, I don't know why I read that as Juan. I'm going to pick Gene Matsumoto, and the reason why is because I feel like Rob Font is a bit of an old head at the bantamweight division, even though it is at catchweight, supposedly. Rob Font, is 37 years old, 21 wins, 8 losses, and, he's just a bit of an old head at the bantamweight division. He's not going to be champ, not going to be fighting for the title anytime soon. And I just think that Gene Matsumoto, even though he's only 25, 16 wins, 0 losses, that's pretty impressive. And I just think like Rob Font doesn't have it in him anymore. I'm not saying that he's a bad fighter, but I just don't think that he can pull it off at that age. You never know. He could be one of those unk fighters. We just saw Jared Cannonier get a win last week at Saturday, at 40 years of age at middleweight. And that's pretty impressive, but it's a lot harder to stay competitive in these lighter divisions when you're an older man, especially at 37 years old at bantamweight. I'm going to go with Gene Matsumoto by decision. Next fight at middleweight, and this is one I'm actually excited for, Brandan Allen versus Anthony Hernandez. I'm going to go with Hernandez. Hernandez's records might be tricky, 13 wins, 2 losses, 1 no contest, but I'm pretty confident Hernandez, man. The last outing he showed against Michel Pereira was pretty impressive. He weathered the storm, and he pretty much dominated him to a decision. And I think, what's the word that I want to use? I think Brandan Allen, or not Brandan Allen, I think Anthony Hernandez has some pretty good submission game. I think he's got very good grappling. I think his cardio is good. And I really think that he's going to give it to Brandan Allen. I know Brandan Allen is also a bit of a grappler, but I don't think he's good enough to beat Anthony Hernandez. I think Hernandez, if he beats Allen, I can see him giving a tough opponent, maybe like a Whitaker. Sorry, I accidentally shook the camera. Maybe like a Whitaker or something like that. And it's just going to be interesting to see where Hernandez happens to do after this fight. I'm going to go with Hernandez by round 2 submission. All right, final fight in the main event. The fight that's probably going to be the most exciting because, ranked bantamweight is always exciting. And that's Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong. Now, I'm actually going to go with Song. Cejudo is 38 years old. Song is 27, or I think 28. He's very young. Song is very young, actually. He's just got a lot of miles on his record. And Cejudo is still good, but I just don't think that he can keep up anymore. And it's not like, Olympic wrestling champ and this and that. Yeah, but that doesn't translate over to MMA because we just saw Marab a year ago dominate Henry with his wrestling. I mean, he literally picked up an Olympic wrestling champ and threw him against the cage, or carried him against the cage. That's pretty crazy if you ask me. And I think Song just isn't good enough, or my bad, I think Cejudo isn't good enough, especially now that he's at an older age. And I think Song, he's one of those people that keeps growing in skill. He's only 27. He's not hitting his prime yet. I think we still need at least 2 more years, or 3 more years to see Song's prime. And that's going to be crazy when he does, because here's the thing. Even though Song might have a lot of losses by then, right now he has 7 losses, you also have to realize the competition he's faced. He's faced some decent competition. And I think Song's probably going to put him out of there. I'm actually going to go with Song by knockout in the round 4, or TKO round 4. I think he's going to either knock him out by using his good striking, or I think he's actually going to surprisingly grapple well. Because I think Song's grappling is probably upgraded a lot. And it's not like back in the day, D1 wrestler, if you're a wrestler, you can just dominate this guy and this and that. No. Nowadays in MMA, you can't just have a background in wrestling as a American all-made wrestler, whatever the fuck it's called, and just dominate these people. Nowadays, you need to be really good. You need to keep leveling your skill set because, how many times have we heard about a wrestler get dominated by a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy now after just spending years in the cage? He didn't even grow up doing wrestling, or sometimes they don't even grow up doing Jiu-Jitsu. Nowadays, you have to just be the best. It's kind of like George St. Pierre. GSP didn't grow up wrestling, yet he dominated wrestlers. Nowadays in the MMA worldscape, just having a skill set of wrestling isn't enough, especially because I don't think Cejudo trains his wrestling that much anymore. He wants to be like a striker. He doesn't want to like really grapple and do this and that. And even if he does, he doesn't have that much like top control, or he doesn't have that many submissions. And that's why I just think Song is, I think Song is going to put it on him, and I think Song's going to knock him out in the first round, rather by a KO or just like TKO when he gets him on the ground. Anyways, that's it for this prediction, guys. I did ramble a little bit longer than usual, unfortunately, and just talking shit, this and that. But that's it for this video. If you guys like the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I think it's going to be a good fight night, honestly. This one is probably one of the better ones that we're going to see so far in the next upcoming weeks. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you guys in the next one.